Hey everybody and welcome back. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames and this is episode 3, I do believe, of our Demon Souls playthrough, subtitled The Red Pill. We're playing this emulated on the PC using the PS3 emulator RPCS3, so it is not flawless. However, we are playing in 1920 by 1080 and 60 frames per second. Unfortunately, the anti-aliasing leaves something to be desired, but that's okay. We did not expect perfection. There are also a few audio kind of glitches or audio crackles that we hear just because of some timing issues, I suppose, in the emulation. It is what it is. I don't think... Let's see, souls required. Yep, we got enough. Let's put some points into... That would give us 1 point of attack power. 1 point. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. How about a nice solid strength point? Looks good. All right. We'll make sure we got everything repaired up. Good to go. The reason this is called the Red Pill, for those that don't know, is this is a discussion playthrough, just like the last two playthroughs I did on my channel, the last two being Dark Souls, in which we talk about the manosphere, specifically the Red Pill. Today's drink of choice is black coffee. Hot. Starbucks espresso beans. I'm pressing down the top plunger on this French press, and I will now pour the coffee into my coffee mug. Alrighty. I tried to do that close to the microphone so you can hear it, just for that. Those Foley sound effects, as they call them. F-O-L-E-Y, Foley sound effect. I guess it's not a Foley sound effect because it's real. Foley effects are like the effects added to a TV show or movie after the fact. So Latria is not my favorite place in the game. In fact, one of my problems with Demon Souls is that I'm not actually a big fan of most of the areas. The first area down there, Boletaria, I kind of like. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of the whole, underground mining facility. I'm not a big fan of the nasty swamp. I'm not a huge fan of the Shrine of Storms, but it's okay. This area is all right, but again, a lot of the areas in this game are really, really dark and dreary. By the way, you may see a message in the lower left-hand corner that says compiling shaders. That's a emulation thing, so when you see that, don't worry about it. You may see some stutter as well as the game puts together the shaders. Ideally, the game would run the best if I played through it from start to finish, let all the shaders compile, let everything compile that needs to be compiled, and then played through it again. But I'm just not going to do an entire playthrough to avoid the occasional tiny bit of stuttering. It appears to be locked. Well, it either is or it isn't, buddy. So we've been talking about how to maintain your frame. I don't remember exactly where we left off because it's been just a little bit of time since then. Damn. Look at me, just fiddling around here, not paying attention. Let's do that. Okay. Now, I am in human form, so that means if I die, it'll push this place towards Black World tendency, making it a more difficult area. Making the enemies harder, but also make them drop more items. So, there you go. It appears to be locked. Maintaining your frame is a really, really big deal as far as the Red Pill goes, as far as the Manosphere goes, as far as masculinity goes. God dang it! Oh, that is really frustrating. When the enemies don't bounce off the walls, but you do. A true case of good old bullshit. There we go. I wouldn't have a problem with this bouncing off the walls thing with my weapon as long as it applied to the enemies equally. So, I've stressed that point enough, though. I've complained about it enough. Let's break all this stuff. Alright. So it took me a while to kind of try to perfect the emulation on this, so we'll see how it goes. It's not going to be perfect, obviously. Let's go grab some items, but be careful not to get stabbed by enemies hiding in here. Oh, what? It would overburden you, what? Wait a minute, I am already overburdened? Are you kidding me? Well, that sucks, guys. I'm already overburdened. Woo! Let's see. Do I have the, Dang, I don't have the ring that allows me to carry more. Since I don't need the cling ring on, I'm going to switch to the thief's ring. And then let's see if there's anything we can... Well, you know what? We are so close. Let's just go back to the Nexus and dump some stuff off as we're able. Where is that Nexus? Archstone. Where's that Archstone? Is it in here? I thought it was in there. Did it disappear? There it is. Okay. Yeah. Return to the Nexus. The load times are awesome on this. Check it out, guys. Boom. Barely get enough time to even look at the load screen. I remember on the PS3, you'd just be sitting there staring at it for a long period of time, admiring the artwork, whether you want to or not. Stockpile Thomas takes items that we don't need right now. So, this is where a lot of weight is coming from. There we go. Okay. That's probably where a lot of that weight was coming from right there. Oh, and the fact that we... Oh, yeah, and all this stuff, too. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. I see. Fluted helm. And you know what? We do not have a crossbow at the moment, or a bow, so there's no point in having those on us. And then... the jade hair ornament, firebomb, throwing knife, sticky white stuff, turpentine. Augite of guidance. A stone that radiates a guiding light. Sends user back to the Archstone. Okay, I think... Yeah, we're good. Let's get rid of 2 of those. Actually, let's get rid of all but 1. We only need 1 just in case we're about to lose our weapon to breaking. And that, excuse me, is good enough for now. The rings don't weigh all that much, so I don't think it's too much to worry about. We can give him the jade ornament when he's ready to talk about it, but I don't think he's ready at the moment. Let's see. I don't know what we do to activate the little... Oh. Okay, there we go. To my knowledge, there's nothing else you can really do with it. Aha! There's the ring. Now, the Ring of Herculean Strength increases your maximum item burden. This is not equipment burden. Unlike the other Souls games, you have item burden in addition. Equipment burden is how much you can wear and still roll at a good speed or move around, right? So item burden is different in that it's the total amount of weight you can carry on your character of all items in your inventory. Yes, Demon Souls, the only one in the series, limits your inventory by weight. Now, believe it or not, that is actually pretty standard. I think most RPGs either go with one of 2 systems. Either you can carry and wear as much as you want and it doesn't affect you in any significant way, or you can only carry so much. And you have like a limit. Skyrim does that. The Elder Scrolls does that. A lot of RPGs limit how much total you can carry without being penalized. Excuse me. Still overcoming this cold. Okay, so we want to get to that guy eventually and take care of him. The Mind Flayer is very dangerous. I suddenly have a tickle in my throat. Excuse me. I would love to go through and edit out all the coughs and hacks, but the amount of effort that takes. So, maintaining your frame. We talked about in the last 2 episodes. Frame is really about under whose guidance, under whose direction, under whose goals and ambitions and dreams, under whose framework do you operate. And the idea there is, when you're at work, you're operating under the framework, under the direction of your bosses, your supervisor, the company. You're doing the company goals. It's not you doing your thing at work for you. It's you doing what you have to do for the company, for the organization, for your supervisor, for your boss. You're operating under their frame. Now, when you run your own business, then you're operating under your frame to a certain extent. Not 100%, because you probably have to file for a permit, and you probably have to get a license for this, and then you got to follow these rules when you hire employees. That's you operating under the government's frame. Now, to a certain extent, no, you cannot be 100% in your own frame and never have to respond to anything else outside of you. You'd have to live on an island not run by any government and just kind of operate on your own. Who wants to do that, right? But as much as you can, it is imperative that as a man, you need to operate under your frame for your purposes, pursuing your goals and your life mission. It's the idea, where is your mental point of origin? And for men, the biggest problem in this area, young men, old men, does not matter, is that you get in a relationship and without even realizing it, you start slowly or even quickly adopting and taking on the woman's frame. Now, the equality people out there, the feminists out there, the guys heavily influenced by the feminine imperative, the feminized men, will argue, well, it should be a 50-50, Fox. It should be an equal thing. You're both kind of doing your own thing, and you're both supporting each other, and you're both making the decisions together, and it's not all about the man or all about the woman. And okay, that sounds great. Those are awesome platitudes, but that's all they are. They don't turn into reality. They don't translate to real life, because real life doesn't work that way. People aren't equal. A man is not equal to himself from one day to another, said Thomas Sowell. Great guy. He's got some great books out. The economics, what is it called? The economics of race, or the economics of something. Anyway. Oh, wait, what? It's locked. What? All right, we'll go somewhere else here. I actually passed it up over there, the area I'm supposed to go to. You know, no matter how many times I play Demon Souls, I never really truly feel comfortable with these areas in the same way I do in Dark Souls. In Dark Souls, I feel comfortable with nearly every part of the game, except for maybe Upper Blighttown and the Catacombs. I haven't really mastered those areas yet. I still, to this day, feel like they're kind of newish to me. Got blasted in the back. I got ass blasted, you could say. If you can get to these guys' backs, that's the best case scenario. If not, well, you can just rush them down, but be aware. They go into what people in the Demon Souls community refer to as hyper armor mode. I don't like that term because it's not armor, it's poise. But when they go into hyper armor mode, you cannot stagger them. They will hit you regardless of how hard you hit them. So just be aware of that. So just going into rush mode doesn't always work unless you can get them rushed down to dead before they react. There is a part in this area where you can fall off the ledge very easily. It's fairly well hidden. By the way, if you look down here, at times the game will slow down on my computer. You know, I really do want a new computer at this point. However, I'm not in a life situation where I should be paying for one right now. So I got to pay for some other things first. Not going to get into all those details, but once I get enough spending money, free money, a PC upgrade will be in my near future. I'll be upgrading to the 2000 series on NVIDIA graphics cards. Right now I have a 1080, a GTX 1080. And I'll be upgrading to probably a better Intel card. Or, I'm sorry, Intel chip. No! Oh! I can't believe that not only did he get his attack off, but because I hit him and pushed him forward and just ever so slightly walked forward, his attack ended up not hitting me because of the range on it. That was like somewhat of a miracle. It would make you believe in a higher power, it really would. I'm being facetious. So, frame, guys. We talked about ways to set your frame. The big F's of frame, and really this is more of like just the 4 F's of setting up your life. It doesn't all pertain directly to frame, but you got your food, fitness, finance, and fashion. And the idea of that is you get yourself together, you focus on yourself and you and what you need to look good, to feel good, to be good, to have good financial situation. You get that as your focus, as your mental point of origin, not, oh, well, gee, what can I do to help this woman out? What can I do to, this woman I'm dating is, you know, she's got 2 kids. She's a single mother with 2 kids, and one of them's got Down syndrome or autism or whatever, and she's struggling to pay her bills, and so, you know, and I really like her, and she seems to like me, so, you know, I'm going to help her out. I'm going to, you know, give her $1,000 a month to help her pay her bills. Now, for some of you, $1,000 a month is way more than you could ever afford to give a woman. But for some guys, they do this. I knew a guy. He met a stripper. You know how he met her. And he decided to get involved with her. I don't recommend that. A woman who is stripping, I'm not judging that lifestyle. I'm not saying it's bad, wrong, she shouldn't do it. I'm just going to say you should not date a stripper. If she's in a phase of life where she is stripping, she's a stripper at a club, she's not in a phase of life where any man should consider her a serious option for dating. Now, you could consider her a temporary dating option, like just a plate to spin, to get to know what's out there. If you just want to have fun and hang out with her and do what you do, and she knows that and that's what you're doing, then that, maybe. But be really careful with strippers. They can be... I've known guys, I've heard so many stories. You hear the stories online. Strippers can be very dangerous women. Strippers learn how to take advantage of men to get their money at the club, so they can be very predatory. And I am right now, when I have time on and off throughout the day, I'm putting together what's going to be the topic for another playthrough, the whole discussion point for the entire playthrough, and it's going to be entitled Predatory Women. That will be the subtitle of the playthrough. And we'll go over between, 8 to 14 different types of predation shown by women. I don't want to get too much into it because I want to save that for the other playthrough. But we will be addressing the different ways that women prey on, use, abuse, and take advantage of men. Because what I don't want to do here is get you guys all set up, tell you what to do, tell you how to kind of structure your life, tell you how to get your finances in order, tell you how to get this in order, tell you how to get your fitness and fashion and diet, nutrition, workout programs and all that, and you're good to go, and you fall for the typical predatory strategies of a woman because you're just not aware. That can happen. Now, granted, I will say this, no matter what your situation in life, if you have your frame about you, if you have yourself as your mental point of origin, if you are focused on you and your needs and what you want and what you desire in life and pursuing your goals and your mission, if you are focused on getting yourself set up, if you're focused on your diet, your nutrition, if you're focused on looking good, feeling good, if you're focused on your own health, golly, what the heck? Jeez, that was brutal. Oh, anyway, I got cornered there, and I actually thought I was going to die. I just got stuck. And remember, this game does not have poise. By the way, yes, you'll hear a woman singing. It's annoying, but it's a merchant. Oh, did you see that? Lovely. I need more crescent moon grass. It's my favorite grass to use when not in the middle of combat. Because if there's no rush to heal, I like to use the cheapest, lowest quality grass I can. And save the higher healing grasses for those moments when you're in the middle of a boss fight. Or you're in a rush to heal because you're about to get hit again and might die. That's when you don't want to be using the really wussy, low healing crescent moon grass. I just love the sound effects when you open these things. The assassin set, that's a nice set if you just want to have a... low weight armor set. However, because there is no poise in Demon Souls, and because there are only essentially 2 roll speeds, fast and slow, at the 50%, I believe 50% equipment burden load. Was there a... Hang on. Did I get the rings, or the key off the wall? There was a key on the wall somewhere. I can't remember if I already got it. I think I did get it back there. But anyway, because of that, because it's at the 50% equipment load instead of the 25% like in Dark Souls, and because poise does not exist... No, okay. Let's see. Maybe I missed it somewhere. Where would it be? Because of that, people tend to favor slightly heavier armor in this game, I've found. There's really no reason to wear super light armor if you have even a decent amount of endurance. If your equipment burden is below 50% significant, there's really no reason not to just keep putting on more armor. Excuse me, you just get the benefit of additional defenses, And you can do that. You can stack that up to 50%. Yeah, look at this. You see how I'm already confused as to where the key is? You have to find the keys on the wall, on the walls in this level, and that's what opens up. Actually, let me see if I got an option to, let's see, camera speed, vibration. No, they don't have it. The thing where it judders the camera around every time you get behind a... Yeah, right there. Did you see that? Watch what the camera does. I'm not going to move the camera at all. Yeah, see? Shoving the camera sideways. I hate that. Dark Souls allows you to turn that off. That's the kind of stuff that gets you killed when you're trying to walk through small platforms. It's just not a good idea. So today's kind of a recap of the last 2 episodes. We talked about, I believe we discussed having your own hobbies, your own things that you do. And it's not just about having a career and having ways to build yourself up, but also about having things you do for you. And she has nothing to say about it in terms of whether you do it or not. And if she challenges you on it, well, why are you going out with the guys to such and such? Why do you keep going to that stupid jujitsu thing? We don't see each other anymore. When a woman says we never go out, oh, duh. When a woman says we never go out, usually what she means is we're not going out as much as I want to go out. Therefore, all the times we went out don't count. Oh, crap, I'm dead. What? Oh, he couldn't get to me. Awesome. I can't believe I didn't die. I can't believe it's not butter. He was not able to get to me, thank goodness. Because he was in the wrong position. Nice try, asshole. Alright, I really should have died there. I just got really, really lucky. Okay, speaking of which, let's get this poison off. Oh, and this game does that other thing where when you pick up a new item, it puts it on your hotbar. Hate that. Hated that. Dark Souls Remastered gets rid of that. Very, very annoying. Don't do that. Do not do that. Bad developers. The key to everything in life, for the most part, is if you're gonna make a product for end users, give them the option to set it up their way. This is where a lot of people die. They're just running along and boom. They fall in there because not only is it dark, but at this point right here, this is where your view can be somewhat obstructed by this little pillar. So camera issues combined with the darkness and the general color scheme and the lower resolution. Now, you probably saw that hole pretty easily, but that's because we are playing in 1920 by 1080 60 FPS. When you play this in 720 30 FPS, it is much harder to see that hole. That's what she said. Anyway, knowing your frame is about having your goals and ambitions and all that, and it's about maintaining your hobbies for you, your thing that you do, whether she likes it or not. If you're into jiu-jitsu, you keep doing it. And when she complains, as most women inevitably will, that you're spending too much time in those stupid martial arts and not enough time with her, or you spend enough time with those stupid sports games, not watching them, but playing them, guys. Don't be just a sports watcher. That's not a hobby. That's just entertainment. Watching sports is not a hobby any more than watching the latest Netflix TV show is a hobby. But, you know, when you're doing whatever it is you're doing, that's taking you away from her, even away from the home. Oh, that coffee's not as hot as it should have been. I waited too long to start this playthrough after making the coffee. You need to make it clear to her. Be like, listen, babe, the reason I do this is because this is part of who I am. This is what I do. This helps make me me. And if I were to stop doing this, you would like me less. You would find me less attractive. Because me doing this, me having my thing that I do, is part of what makes me attractive to you. Now, you may not understand that right now, but it's true. So, you kind of got to lay the groundwork for that. And you know what? People are like, well, Fox, when do women lay the smack down on the man and tell him? And sure, there may be cases where she has to make a stand on one issue or another, or blah, 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 whatever. As we've discussed before in just about every episode, I mention this disclaimer at least once We are not here to give an equalist, feminist perspective. We're not here to give a egalitarian perspective. We are not here for that. We are here only to address men's needs, what men should do, how to be masculine, how to present a very masculine frame. I am not here to give the other side. I'm not here to say that it goes 50-50 because it does not. A 50-50 relationship, there's a word for that. It's called stalemate. Okay? There's a reason why the Supreme Court has 9 justices and not 8. There's a reason why we have 1 president and not 2. All right? There's a reason why whenever we have a ruling body, there's always a tiebreaker. Now you may say, what about the Senate, Fox? It's 50, so it could be 25 versus 25. Well, you're saying that because you don't know how the Senate works. When the Senate needs a tiebreaker, it's the vice president that breaks it. The vice president actually comes in and votes. So the Senate is technically 51. The U.S. Congress, the Senate, and the U.S. Congress is what I'm talking about. For my international viewers, most of you probably are aware of that. I find international viewers tend to know more about the U.S. than U.S. viewers know about just about any other country in general. Unlike your average American, I have actually been abroad, and more than just been abroad to a couple different countries. I've lived in Japan for 3 years. Here's our singer, and I think after you talk to her, she shuts up. Although, does she shut up permanently? I don't know. We're going to buy 2 of these because I used one and I think I've got none at the moment. Full moon grass is great, although that's kind of expensive at that price. We have 1 plague thingy-majigger. Shard of moonlight stone, not what we're looking for. Was hoping she'd have a bow or something that we could pick up, but we'll get one somewhere. Okay, now stop singing, please. Are you done singing? Please be done singing. Don't start again. All right, let's see how this goes. Now, this hole's easier to see from this side. I think it's the same hole we came up to earlier. Because you don't have the pillar blocking your view. Oh, there she goes again. Don't quit your day job, lady. Double kill. When you're standing outside this, it's really hard to lock on to the enemies inside. The game doesn't want to do it. Which is really frustrating. Alright. So by having your thing, you also have... Oh, come on! That fucking lock-on bullshit. It can be really absolute garbage at times. I'm clicking the button, nothing's happening. I click the button facing the guy who's coming at me, and my character just looks in that direction. Like if you click the button without an enemy, it does this, right? Right? Well, that's what it did when I was trying to lock on. So, lock on in this game is real shitty. I would say the lock on is the shittiest in Demon Souls. I think they've done things to perfect it, or at least make it better in the other games. I don't know exactly what, but I've always found the lock on in this game to be the shittiest of the series. Like, especially right here, I could see an enemy right in front of me and just be frantically clicking to lock on, and it won't want to lock on because I'm outside the room. So there's some sort of lockout because I'm not in the room with them. Part of having your own thing, we were interrupted rudely back there by bad controls, is that you want to... I think this one right here poisons us, and I don't remember what the item is, so we'll go ahead and do it anyway and just heal the poison. Is having friends. It's very, 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 very important that you maintain your social connections and your social circle. To the best of your ability, you want to maintain a relatively positive relationship with your family. That's not always possible. I feel like I got a ring from one of them. Raises magic power, lowers magic defense. The cling ring, we already know what that is. Poison and flame resistance. Self-obvious. Okay. Now... There we go. Wait, what? Nothing? See, I gotta remember that. I gotta remember that that is just a total waste. There is no point in opening that in the future, obviously. And what's down here? Alright, this is the one I just opened. It's also a good idea not to open doors, gates, or anything until you're ready to go through them, so you know where you've been and where you haven't been. I rarely use that All-Gite of Guidance, so I wonder if I should just pop one and see what it does. I don't know if I've ever actually used it. Oh, it just drops on the ground. Okay, it says emits a light. I thought it would emit a light around me. I don't know if I've ever used one. Okay, well, there it is. I wasted it, but then again, since I've never used it before, who cares? By the way, really, really easy to totally miss something here, right? You see this camera angle? See how the camera works right here? You see how easy it was to completely miss the fact that there's a stairway right here? That's a camera issue. I don't have an immediate solution, unfortunately. But yeah. Anyway, let's go up here first, though. Because I think we actually do need to go up here first to get that other one open. So I'm violating my own principles by opening doors without going through them first. Maintain your social circles. It's very important because oftentimes in a divorce, one of the worst things for men is the loss of their social circles, the loss of their relationships, the loss of their connections. Many men allow women to basically take control of the relationships. Men will just kind of sit around and be like, oh, we hanging out with Jim and Jane later tonight? I made that mistake in one of my relationships. I let the woman kind of set that up. I let the woman establish. So a lot of my friendships were partially, I thought at the time, were totally based through her. So, you know, when the split comes, as it inevitably does for more than half of all relationships, what you don't want to be looking at is, oh, wow, look at that. I'm losing all of my friends. And because, you know, most of my friends are in couples. And once I'm no longer a couple with this person, she intentionally, maliciously maintains her connection to all of her friends, very intentionally, starts bad-mouthing you, talking shit about you, saying how horrible and dangerous you are and violent and making everyone scared, and all of her female friends will be terrified. They will believe it hook, line, and sinker. Her female friends will be on her side 100%. It's what Rollo Tomasi in his book The Rational Male refers to as the sisterhood über alles, which I believe that's German for above all. I don't think it's Latin. I think it's German. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It's the idea that more so than men, far more so than men, women will take the side of other women, whereas men won't necessarily do the same. Oh, there we go, crossbow. In fact, men will often also take the side of the woman in the hopes that maybe she'll sleep with him. He'll be the beta orbiter, hanging around her, hoping that if he's there to comfort her and be her buddy, that she'll see how great a guy he is and consider him, you know, an option for dating or sex. And unfortunately, that's usually not how it works. She sees him as like a girlfriend, a safe friend, not a sex option, not a dating option, not a romantic option. That's because that's how he's put himself. He's entered her frame. They're just friends. They're not sleeping together. They're not dating. So he's allowed her to set the context of the relationship. But what'll happen in these splits, especially divorces... I don't have the key, buddy. That key is harder to get. I don't normally get it in the course of the playthrough without intentionally coming back here later. So we'll see what happens. I think this right here disappears in a certain world tendency, black or white world tendency. Depending on the tendency of the world, whether it's black or white, based on how many times you died in it or how many times you defeated the bosses and raised it whiter or blacker, you will have access to different areas. I don't like that because if you're online on the PlayStation version, PlayStation 3 version, obviously, the only one that is technically exists other than the simulated version, the online servers affect the world tendency. So to fully control the world tendency, you essentially have to stay offline. But yeah, you do not want to be splitting up with a girl, especially divorcing a wife, and finding that you have no friends because they're all through her. And now she's contacting all your friends, and all those guys with their girls are going to believe what their girls tell them. So when their girl says, oh yeah, he's violent and he treated her wrong and we don't need to be friends with him anymore, she's gonna believe her, and he's gonna believe her, your ex. And the only way around that is that you have to maintain good, positive relationships with people as much as possible, so that number one, they feel a sense of obligation. They don't feel like they can just shut you off in a heartbeat because, you know, golly, I hate this guy so much. You can see it's really difficult to gauge when it's a good time to get him. You have to get him to power up that attack. Golly, jeez. You see what kind of bullshit I'm up against. That fucking damage is just absurd. Demon Souls does have a lot of bullshit moments. Dark Souls has a few, but Demon Souls, woo! Demon Souls could pile it on. Okay, you gonna shoot me? You're gonna shoot me? Ideally, we want to be able to hit him with a ranged attack, but it's difficult when you don't have one, you know? Oh, shit. Let's see. Oh, come on. There we go. Bullshit defeated. Alright, let's see what else we got in here. So, you maintain all your social circles. You maintain those friends. And you challenge it. If something comes up, it's like, man, she's been saying blah, blah, blah. Be like, well, no, that's not true. You guys know me. Have you ever seen that from me? She's mad, she's angry, she doesn't like the way the divorce is going. That's why she's saying all this nasty shit. And you tell them the honest truth. That's what I tell people. Women, when they get divorced, the vast majority of them start the shit talk. They start going hard after the guy by talking to all his friends and family, saying how terrible he is and how awful he is. And she tries to isolate him and get everyone on her side because he's abusive. And, well, he's not really abusive, but, you know, he's emotionally abusive. And, well, you know, he's not really abusive, but he's kind of like, you know, verbally abusive. Like, he says mean things sometimes. And meanwhile, she says the worst, most horrible shit about him. She is simultaneously talking horrible shit about him while also complaining that he says mean things about her. And because of female solipsism, I don't know how it's pronounced, because of women being so internally centered on themselves and their own viewpoint, she sees no contradiction. Her girlfriends will see no contradiction. She will talk shit. She will say the worst things about him in the world that you could even imagine. Accuse him of horrible, horrible things that there's no evidence for. And yet complain that he's mean to her. He says mean things to her. So, yeah, if it sounds like I've been burnt before, well, you know what happens. Most guys get burnt at least once in a relationship. The goal is not to get burnt at all, but if you do, the goal is to set yourself up for as much success as possible and as little failure as possible. So, you know, the goal is, number one, to know what to expect. When a relationship goes bad, if you're ending it, if you're walking away from her and she doesn't want you walking away, she, in many cases, will fight tooth and nail to make your life a living nightmare. She will do everything possible. She will try to take all your money. She'll empty your bank account. She'll call up to your employer and say things about you. And, you know, when a guy does it, it is domestic violence. It's abuse. It's control. It's manipulation. When a woman does it, well, you know, she's just very emotional and she's feeling hurt. And we justify women's criminal behavior. We penalize men's criminal behavior. There's the famous case in, I looked this up, Selmar, Tennessee. Never been there, never been anywhere close to there. Sounds like Podunk Town in middle America, or at the south, or whatever part of the country that is. So this, okay, so you see this little asshole right here? You gotta be careful, because you will chase him off a ledge, literally. let's see what we can do. Oh, we do have bolts. Come here, you little bastard. Oh, shit. I thought I could aim it. Oh, fuck. This game, I swear. The bullshit never ends sometimes with these games. Yeah, the lizards in these games, if you thought the lizards were bad in Dark Souls, get ready for bullshit salad. It's bullshit lettuce with a topping of bullshit croutons, some bullshit sliced egg, bullshit dressing. They just fucking run right off all the edges, and then you don't get anything. Half the time they try to lead you into a trap or an ambush. They try to lead you off a ledge like this one. They're just a giant pain in the ass. And of course, it's much, much easier if you have powerful ranged attacks. So it's horribly imbalanced based on your character class. Alright, let me see where we're going here and what we've done. Alright, we haven't been out here yet. So you get to see this. This actually plays. I heard that all the cutscenes were broken, but the cutscenes using the in-game engine still work. Yes, so you got to be ready for the attack on your social circles. That is one of the main reasons why you maintain them all. You maintain all of your social connections. You maintain your friendships. You maintain your family relationships. You keep up with them. You talk with your family. You let your mom and dad know what's going on. Your brothers, sisters, all that. And when things start going bad, you got to call them up. Just you don't have to talk shit about her. Don't, actually. I recommend you don't talk shit about her. I think it fires twice, right? Now, you can actually roll through that. It is extremely difficult. I don't recommend it. I've never been very successful. I always die. But it is actually possible to roll through it. Falling in this game is just as much bullshit as the rest of the series. Well, watch this. Clearly, there's nothing you can do now, right? No, you just push on this and magically hop up and hope that you don't actually push all the way off. How do you know that you can do that? It just, like here. Oh, here's another magical spot where you can just climb up it for no apparent reason. Bullshit? Absolutely. Well, whatever. There's no way to know that you can do that until you just try. And you try that anywhere else where there's the same elevation difference, it just won't work. Let's see. Yeah, the difficulty here, I found to go at a slight angle. If you try to push off straight, you're likely just to fall right off. And then be careful not to push against the ledge right as you get to the edge here, because then you'll just go up and then have to take the risk of falling back down again to get that item. Grabbing a lot of items we don't need just because I don't know what's what. Hope I can get back. Oh, right there. Right where I came off. Okay, good. So that means you call them up. You just let them know what's going on. Hey, just to let you know, she's really mad. I've decided to end the relationship, so she may contact you and say a bunch of nasty stuff about me, and you know how women can be when they don't get their way and relationships go bad. They get really angry. They take it very personally. They get vicious. All right, I think we've gotten everything we can from here for now. Let's go back this way. We can shut that thing off, by the way, so there is no need to roll through it unless you just want to get through an area really quickly. I recommend you not try to roll through it. You'll probably die. So I think now we can get through those middle portcullises. That's what they're called. Yes. With the Warden's Key. We may not make it to the boss in this episode, guys. If not, oh well. So, the other reason you want to maintain your friends is it's not just in preparation for a relationship going bad. Far from it. You maintain your friendships because it's very important that you have those social circles. It's very important that you have people. That you have... golly. This game loves to throw enemies that just do massive amounts of damage in single shots. I can't tell what direction he's facing because of the shitty graphics. There we go. That was one of the biggest complaints I had about Demon's Souls is, I mean, just the PlayStation 3, or the way it was programmed, it just did not give a good enough quality to tell what the fuck was going on. You couldn't see shit half the time. It was just a mess. It was just a muddy, muddy mess. Woo! Okay. Sometimes the best strategy is to rush them, but you gotta know what animation they're in. You gotta make sure they're not about to hit you with the stun. That stun is usually lethal. Most everyone at this point in the game is gonna die. Unless you've been leveling up quite a lot and going to other areas first. But I think the game is basically, for the most part, designed to be played with you going through each of the different areas, one stage at a time. So you go to Boletaria, then you go to the mining area, whatever that's called, I can't remember. You go to Latria, you go to the Shrine of Storms, you go to the swamp, and then you repeat. You start going to the next stage of Boletaria, the next stage of the mining area, the next stage of Latria, and so on. That would seem to be the flow of the game. Okay, so this is backwards. We don't want to go this way. That got us straight all the way through. Alrighty. So now we need to figure out how to get somewhere else without getting hopelessly lost and turned around. What? What? There's still one of those assholes alive somewhere? Oh yeah, you just open that. It's just that simple, guys. It's just that simple. See, told you. And you were worried I was going to get lost. Breaking shit like it's Legend of Zelda. We're going to run back up here just to make sure I didn't miss an item. I always feel like there's an item up here. I do this probably every playthrough and never find anything. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. That's an item over there. Okay. Now, this area, you do have to defeat a certain character before you can defeat the boss, because if you don't kill a certain character, the boss will respawn endlessly. Endlessly. And you don't get credit for killing the boss. It's not like you just get the souls each time. That would be cool if you could do that to farm souls. Maintaining your social circle, in addition to protecting you from the inevitable attack that comes from relationships that fail with women that aren't like solid. Even a reasonably good woman is going to go on the offensive after a relationship ends poorly, whether it's her or you. They love the idea of making you out to be the bad guy. Women love to play victim. It's inherent in their nature. It doesn't mean they'll all do it, but it's something they just love to do. There are certain things men love to do. There's certain things women love to do. And one thing women love is pretending to be the victim and crying and getting all that sympathy from other people that sit around and hug her and say, "It'll be okay, girl. The big bad mean man hurts you. Well, that big bad mean man, he's a big bad meanie. He's such a bad man. Don't you worry. You're a great girl. You go, girl. I can't believe he would tear you down." That's what girls do for each other. Now, guys a lot less consistent. Depends on the guy. Some guys will criticize you. "Man, what'd you do to her, man? She's crying over there. You gotta go make this right, man." Guys do not support each other the way women do. They just don't. And it's sad. When I hear about, when I hear like some guy is going through a breakup or whatnot, I do not jump to conclusions necessarily. But if I have to favor one or the other, I'm going to favor the guy just because I know how women are. I'm going to favor the guy because most likely if either one of them is being abused, used, or taken advantage of, it's probably the guy being taken advantage of by the woman, because generally society will favor the woman. That's just the way it works. Society is going to see a crying woman as a victim and the man as a perpetrator. In fact, in general, the general rule, and many men find this out the hard way, society views men as perpetrators and women as victims. This is so deeply ingrained into society that even when there's obvious evidence to the contrary, people will often still believe that the woman is a victim. Her female friends will still believe her to be the victim, even when tons of evidence comes out in a divorce court trial of all the horrible shit she was doing. "Well, it was okay because he did this and he did that. You're not a bad person. It's just, you were angry and upset, and it's understandable you would be upset." These are the kinds of things that are said to women that are never, well, I should say, virtually never said to men. Virtually no one tells a man, well, it's okay that you abused that girl. You were emotional and you felt very strongly about it. And she did some bad stuff to you, so it's okay what you did to her. But this is what we tell women. So men tell women this, women tell women this, parents tell women this, sisters, brothers tell women this. You may find your own family members taking the side of a woman over you. Do not be surprised. Don't be shocked. Lay down the law and have your boundaries. If your mom calls you and says, I just talked to Lisa, and Lisa said you would do it X, Y, and Z, and I just can't believe... Well, why would you, you need to apologize to her and make this right? You need to tell your mom, say, look, Mom, I love you, but you need to understand something. I'm your son. You need to be on my side because I didn't do any of that. What she's telling you is not true. She's just trying to get everyone to turn against me. She's trying to get all of you to think that I'm a horrible person. And if that's what you believe, then, Mom, maybe we don't need to be talking. Okay? I have my boundaries, and one of my boundaries is I don't allow people to think horrible thoughts about me because my ex-girlfriend or ex-wife is talking horribly about me. If you want to believe what she says about me when she's angry and when she's bitter and when she's out to get me, if you want to believe the lies she's spreading, then you can believe those lies, but you're going to believe those on your own because I'm not going to be there for it. So it's up to you, Mom. You need to make a decision. You either believe her or you believe me. Then you hang up the phone. You set boundaries. You set boundaries and you stick to them. You tell them briefly, succinctly, sternly, and then you cut off the communication until they are ready to apologize. You don't demand an apology either. You need to apologize. No. What you can say is Mom calls you back later that day. She's like, okay, I just want to tell you, I understand there's two sides to every story, but what she told me just had me very concerned. And you're just like, well, I need you to not be concerned about her. I need you to be concerned about me. When you are ready to be concerned about me, your son, instead of this woman that just came into my life later, when you're ready to be concerned about your son instead of this woman, then call me back. I love you, Mom. Bye. That's what you do. That's what you said. This is the guy I was talking about. He's going to tell you that he's not up to any trouble. Yes, he is. Kill him. You want nothing to do with him. All right. We done with that, y'all. Word. Yeah, don't let him cast his horrible spells. And don't let her cast her spell on you, guys. Don't fall for a pretty face. As Worf says in Star Trek, and I'm paraphrasing, do not fall to the... do not be deceived by the body. It is only a shell. Crazy women, don't touch them. Bipolar, borderline personality, narcissist. You may think, well, Fox, I'm just going to date her for a bit. We're going to kind of sleep together for a little while, have some fun, and then I'll dump her, and that'll be it. That's what you think. Well, wait until she shows up at your house, okay? Wait until she starts kicking your door. Wait until she slashes your tires. Wait until she busts the window of your apartment complex, calls the police, and says you busted that window, and you threatened to kill her, and you grabbed a knife and said you were going to kill her, and suddenly you're in handcuffs in the backseat of a squad car because she came over there and threatened to kill you and busted your window, but you're the one going to jail, being charged with a felony. By the way, this is where you'll see this very difficult NPC pop out of nowhere. Be ready for it. Be ready. There she is. Be ready for her to shoot that crossbow at you and to do massive amounts of damage. It ain't fun. That ain't fun, y'all. Woo, I'm bouncing off that in a way I didn't think I normally would. Oh, she got me before I could get my shield up. What? I had my... golly. Plague is very dangerous. You want to heal it. Be careful of the crossbow. She does heal as well. You want to stay on top of her. Oh, shit. No! There we go. And done. Okay. That was a little sloppy, but we got it done. That's what she said. All right. Okay, so let's I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to wear this ring because I don't really care about the thief ring that much. Okay. I don't actively use it that much. Thief ring is great if you're using a build where you want to kind of sneak around a bit more, backstab more, be more of a rogue. That type. All right. Well, this is the boss, guys. I think we have enough time to knock this out. I shouldn't need a better grasp than that. I wish I had a magic resist ring. But I don't. See, it won't even let you take that ring off if you got too much on you. I don't know if the thief ring would help in this boss fight, which reflects moonlight. I don't think I need that crap, honestly. So, Mercury Rapier, Claws, Silver Catalyst. We don't need 2 kite shields. We'll drop that, and that will be all we need to do. Okay. But I'm going to wear the thief ring anyway and see if it does help. And then when we get in a little closer, I will use Turpentine. Okay. Well, here we go. Let's do this. This is this fight is not too far off from Pinwheel. By the way, hitting the pews do not do any good. You're not going to open up the area. They still block you. The biggest problem is these pews block your pathway. Okay, so we got a little bit of damage in. Now we need to be careful because they will put spots on the ground that will stop your movement, and you need to get to the real one and attack her. The real one has a bigger... Oh, right there, that's her. Oh, shit. That's no good. Okay. Oh, we're fine, we're fine. I'm just gonna heal up. Oh, no, 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 don't do it. Okay. Woo! I thought I hit the heal button twice. Sometimes it's hard to... Shit. Where's the real one? What the fuck? I can't block any of this shit. Oh, crap. Where's the real one? 1, 2, 3... Oh, she's way over there. Jeez. Oh, I got one more session to this nonsense. Come on. Oh, of course not. Of course that wouldn't be the real one. Okay, those 3 are not it. Is that one it right there? No. That one's it. Okay, we got her. We got her. We got her, guys. Done. I like this boss fight. I think it's pretty clever. It's a bit of a crapshoot because you don't always know where the spots are on the ground. Okay, so now the difficulty is getting to that item without the game pulling you out. You'll see what I mean in a minute. There's a spot where it will automatically pull you out of the area. With a cutscene, and it's right around that altar right there. So we'll see what we can do here. I'm going to try to get to that item, even though I don't think we need it. I think it's just a dagger that we're not going to use. I'm going to run around wide. So yes, maintain your social circles, guys. Very important. I don't say that you should try to rally the troops around you, but keep people in your social circle. Make sure they know who you are and what you are, so that your long-term girlfriend or wife or whatever can't isolate you from your friends and family by spreading lies and rumors about you. So you want to maintain those relationships very powerfully, very actively. And what that means is that while with a woman, even if you're in a marriage, whatever, with kids, you still want to meet up with your guy friends. You still want to meet up with your parents. You still want to maintain that so that they have a vested interest in you. If you've kind of isolated yourself from your friends and family, it's easier for them to believe the lies. It's easier for for them to believe the lies because they don't talk to you. So they think, well, gee, you know, maybe things have gotten really bad. Maybe John is just kind of, maybe he's become abusive. You know, they start to believe her lies because they don't know any better, you know? They just don't know any better. They shouldn't. It's not okay. There's no excuse for it, but you have to look at it from their perspective and see what they're seeing. They saw you kind of disappear. You stop talking to them, you stop interacting with them, and suddenly they're hearing all these horrible stories of what's going on behind closed doors, and they see you as a bit withdrawn. So, you know, it's easy for them to come to the wrong conclusion that, you know what, maybe she's right. Maybe he is abusing her. You want to make sure to stay active in those relationships so that they have a vested interest in at least questioning what she's saying. You want them to go, well, you know what? I don't really see that. Because I had a relationship where I had a woman do that. She lied about me, tried to turn everyone against me. And I had 2 friends say to me, you know, man, they were telling us this and they were telling us that, but we just didn't see any of that. None of that seemed to make any sense to us because, you know, we know you and we see you all the time, and it just, what she was saying didn't make any sense. And of course I was able to actually show them evidence, you know, bank records and other things that showed that no, this wasn't the truth. What she's saying happened didn't happen. They're all lies. And that was able to dispel most of it. Now, her closest friends, they were going to believe her no matter what. They were going to take her side no matter what. I mean, you know, I could be dead on the ground with a bullet in my head. She could have the gun in her hand, her fingerprints on it. She could say, yeah, I shot him. And her friends would be like, well, he deserved it. And you know what he did to you? Because that's what women do. So keep in mind what Rollo Tomasi talks about in his book, guys. You need to be aware. Most women will take the side of other women the majority of the time. The only time women tend to go against each other is when they're competing with each other for a man or competing with each other for a resource like a job. So, no, women don't always get along with each other. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to it, when it comes for all the women in your life to choose you or your wife that you're divorcing or your girlfriend that you're leaving or whatever, they'll often choose her, even if they don't tell you that. All right, guys. Sorry, this one was kind of a downer, but hey, it's all about being aware of what can happen, maintaining your frame, keeping those social relationships going, maintaining strong friendships with other guys in your family so that they don't believe the lies told about you by bitter exes. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames. I hope you join me for the next one, where we'll continue this discussion on the Red Pill in our Demon Souls playthrough. Make sure to follow me on all the social media links down in the description. Twitter above all, that's where I'm most active. And I will see you guys next time. Later. Like the video. Push the like button. Subscribe.